Okay, and it's 7:30. We are starting immediately. So good evening and welcome everyone. My name is Caleb Cookigam, and I'm an instrumentation and control engineer at IOS Limited, an EPCI company here in Lagos. But during my undergraduate days in the University of Benin, where I was studying electrical electronics engineering, I started a scholarship community. That was in 2021, right? And it has since grown to what we have now, where we have over 3,000 of you that are in that community. And so I just thought to do this webinar this evening and share with every one of you how some strategies that are very key to enjoying a lot of scholarships while in school. Personally, I enjoyed a few. I was a beneficiary of PTDF, of FSB, and of NNPC separate, right? But I also had friends who were on several others, Mondeo Yeme, MTN, and very many of them also from this community, right? Because what we do in the community is that we basically share ongoing scholarship applications and also guide people through the process of applying for them. So this evening, as you can see on the slide, I'll be sharing with you on what I have called the scholarship stacking strategy. The scholarship stacking strategy. It's just basically how you can best position yourself for undergraduate scholarships in Nigeria. We'll be looking at different aspects from mindset, eligibility, platforms, and of course, application strategy, and also certain scams that you should definitely avoid, right, in this quest for an undergraduate scholarship. And I trust that by the time we're done with this webinar, it will be very insightful and very practical so that you have some very next steps to do in your in fulfilling your heart's desire, right, to be a scholar, to be a beneficiary of one or two scholarships. So, like I said, you're welcome to the webinar this evening. And like I said, these are some of the things we'll be covering, right? Some definitions, also some mindsets. And I'll also be giving you a playbook, certain traps that you should avoid, and so on and so forth, so on and so forth. So before we get in, let's just define a few basic things. What is a scholarship? A scholarship is a financial grant that is awarded to support your education. It is usually based on academic merit or financial need. Because why this is important is most scholarships, it's either you are very academically excellent or you have you studying a particular course, or based on financial need in the sense that, oh, you're indigent, or maybe certain scholarships that are just done to give back. Do you understand that, right? So it's usually on those two strong bases, right, on which you can get a scholarship, either of them or both of them, right? And then a bursary, on the other hand, also is sometimes looks like a scholarship, but it's not exactly a scholarship. It's a need-based financial award, and it's usually based on state basis. That is, we have a bursary from Delta State, a bursary from Ondo State, a bursary, from certain specific states that actually give those bursaries, and it's just meant to widen access to education. Then we also have what we call grants and aids. These ones are just financial support. They're not meant to be repaid, right? It's different from there's this current loan, NEL fund, that the federal government gives, right? So grants and aids, on the other hand, you don't have to repay them. I hope we're still together, okay? And they can also complement your scholarships and complement your bursary. And why this is focused on undergraduates is because we also have postgraduate funding opportunities. That's when we say postgraduate, you want to go for your master's or you want to go for your PhD, right? But the focus of this presentation this evening is for undergraduates. That is, students who are pursuing their first degree. Either it's a bachelor's of arts or bachelor's of science or bachelor's of engineering or BTech, whatever. And it cuts across any department, any institution. So don't say, oh, I'm not in engineering, or oh, I'm not a student of Unilag or Uniben, right? These opportunities we're sharing this evening cut across all departments, all institutions, right? So, like I said, it's called the scholarship stacking strategy. And what do we mean by stacking strategy? It means the ability to hold multiple scholarships and bursary so that your total support can compound into millions of naira, right, across your degree. These are some numbers, right, to just tell the impact of what we've been doing over the past few years. We have over 200. In fact, as of the last time I counted, 280 something. So almost 300 direct mentees and colleagues who hold 1, 2, 3 or more scholarships, right? And over 50 of them that I know personally currently earn more than they earn millions of naira, right, from scholarships. Personally, I also earn millions of naira from scholarships. And in the free scholarship community, which many of you came in from, we have over 3,000 of you. There are currently 5 of those groups, right? And the current record that I know of is someone who I know who held 13 scholarships before he graduated, right? But it's more normal to see people who have 1, who have 2, who have 3, and all of that. So by the time we're done with this webinar, you would also see how you can best position yourself to be one of those beneficiaries for that. Okay. So moving on quickly, one of the first things you also have to identify is the sources of the scholarship, because if you want to enjoy, I've told you what was a scholarship, but how you need to know where the scholarships come from, right? And there are basically 6 sources. Why I'm sharing this is so that you can also be on the lookout for them. The first one is FSB, right? The federal government. The first source of scholarships is the federal government, and that's usually in the form of FSB, the Federal Scholarship Board, or PTDF. The benefit of scholarships from the federal government is that it's open nationwide. It cuts across all states, all institutions, all levels. Do you understand that, right? So you definitely want to position yourself for federal government scholarships. But we also have scholarships that come from the states, right? Those are what we call state bursaries. And usually there are less competition because you're not competing with everybody across the nation, but the amount is also smaller, right? Then we also have corporate scholarships like MTN, Chevron, Total, ExxonMobil. These are companies. And then they give the scholarships as part of what we call their CSRO. CSRO means corporate social responsibility, right? Then we also have NGOs and foundations that also give scholarships. For example, Jimovia, right? Jimovia is the founder of Zenith Bank, right? Bridge, there are several foundations. I believe you've been seeing some of those ones we've been sharing also on the group, right? Foundations that offer scholarships and you can also apply for them. And then there are also individuals, wealthy persons, philanthropists, who also just want to give back, and then they also offer scholarships. So there are individuals that give grants that award certain scholarships, and then international bodies also can also give scholarships, either to sponsor local study or overseas study. So these are 6 primary sources of scholarships, and like I said, you want to be on the lookout for them. Now, one of the next things I want to address is a mindset concern, right? And that is, some persons just don't apply for scholarships because they think that, scholarships is not for them. It's for one set of people, maybe people they consider scholars or people that are from a certain place or what. But I want to encourage you to never disqualify yourself, right? You have a genuine chance of actually getting the scholarships. I've seen people with very high GPs, people with very low GPs, people with very professional courses, people with courses that we don't consider so professional, right? I've seen people across getting scholarships. And many of the applications are also free. They're genuinely free. So why should you not just apply for them and then trust God that you're going to get it? Do you understand that? It's important that you also start applying as early as possible. So take action early. That I started applying for scholarships from my 100 level. The only reason why I didn't get the scholarship in 100 level was because for the one I was to get then, during the time for clearance, I had issues. I had not gotten my maths number. I had not gotten. Part of the reason for that was because in 100 level, I initially started the process of deferring my admission before, by instruction from God and certain wise persons, I decided to just continue with the program. And I'm glad I did. But initially, I wanted to defer the admission. So what I'm just saying is that you can start applying as early as your 100 level, right? Don't wait till when you have a perfect GPA. When you're in 100 level, your GPA, just use 0.00, right? And still position yourself for those opportunities. And very importantly also, the people around you will shape the opportunities you hear about. You want to ensure that while you're in school, you are working with intentional people who are committed to excellence, who are seeking opportunities, who will push you to also put yourself up for opportunities and scholarships. Do you understand that? So when I said earlier on that you should share the invites to this webinar on your groups, on your status, it's not just because we want more persons to join, but it's also because we want you to have that community of people around who you are sharing opportunities with, and who also know that, oh, this person usually shares opportunities, and when they see opportunities, they'll think of you and also share with you. Do you understand that? Right? So if there's somebody who you think should be on this call, also send them the Meet link and let them join us. Do you understand that? Okay. So also very important thing, follow through. Some persons start application processes and they don't complete it. Some persons, they get invited for certain exams or interviews and then they don't show up. Ensure that you apply early, you apply, put yourself for opportunities, but also be confident and follow through. And following through means you should be checking your email once every day, once every 2 days, once every, regularly. Do you understand that? And to give you a first-hand example, my personal example, most of the persons who I got PTDF with were a set above me in school, right? But I didn't wait till my 200 level to apply. I applied in just around my 100 level when I was done with 100 level. And so by the time the scholarship application process was done, right, we already had, those persons in 300 level, and they ended up paying them 3 times. Why? For me, they paid me for 4 years. Do you understand that? So I'm just simply saying that you want to put yourself, you want to apply for opportunities as early as possible, right? And that you should never disqualify yourself. But then there are also some gatekeepers, some eligibility factors that you want to watch out for. And one of which is your minimum CGPA. Now, I'm going to be working with a 5.0 scale, but I know for some of us, we're in schools where the scale is maybe 7.0 or 4.0. I want to just run through the presentation so that I can give you the opportunity to ask questions, right? Okay, but it's very important that you perform well academically. You are in school to study. Please study. Do your best. All it takes to get a 4.0 on a 5.0 scale is to get BBBB in all your courses, not even A's, right? So you want to do your best to study and to get a good result. Get your 3.0, 3.5, 4.0, 4.5, depending on the scale that you are working with, right? I believe that you should aspire for the first class. Let it be that, oh, you don't get it, than to just say, oh, anything you graduate with. Now, that shouldn't be your attitude. Do you understand? But then there are also some scholarships that accept as low as 2.5 over 5.0, maybe because they're more focused on indigence or on a certain state or community where you are from, right? Not necessarily about academic excellence. But it's good to be excellent. It's good to be excellent. There are a lot of opportunities that will depend on that, and I encourage you to be intentional about your academic excellence. Moving on quickly, the next thing that you have to pay attention to is level of study. There are some scholarships that are for 100 level. There's an NNPC scholarship for 100 level. There's a total scholarship for 100 level. There's a bridge scholarship for 100 level. But most scholarships are in 200 level. So if you're on this call and you are currently in your 200 level, you want to ensure that you are positioning yourself for scholarships because this is your best level for that, right? Especially if you have a good 100 level result. Then there are MTN STSS, which is the Science and Technology Scholarship, is primary for 300 level students. And there are a few other scholarships that are just focused on 300 level students, okay? State of origin is important for bursaries, right? And you would often need to submit a local government identification letter or to submit a letter from your paramount ruler. Are we still together? Okay. So the last thing I want to say is that scholarship applications are free. Please, you should never pay for a scholarship application. I mean, never, right? That's what I'm going to come to the section where we'll just point out some things that once you start seeing them, just know that it's not like a scam, right? But there's an exception here, and that's where exception is that for PTDF, as you can read on this slide, for PTDF, you are often asked to pay 500 naira for your NIN verification. But then that's a very trivial amount, considering the fact that PTDF, your first payment alone will be over 1 point something million naira, because they'll pay you 700 something thousand. They'll also give you a laptop allowance. They'll also give you, a lot of other benefits, right? So these are documents that you will need, and I want you to get them ready. Now, most of them, you use them for your parents, so it's not like you don't have them already. That's your O-level results, WAEC or NECO, your last session's results, especially when you're applying from 200 level, 300 level. It's usually to verify your GPA. Some scholarships might ask you to also submit a CV or to submit your statement of purpose, right? Which you can easily craft. Just where you are coming from, where you are now, what you intend to achieve. Do you understand? Most scholarships also require you to include a passport photograph. Some of them specify the background, but most of them white background. Yeah, I understand. But some of them specify that, oh, it should be this color of background. Then also your JAM results, your UTME results. And of course, you got into school, so I want to believe you had a good result, right? And depending on the scholarship, you would also be required to submit your LGA identification letter. And there are also some scholarships, especially those from foundations and NGOs, that we ask for a recommendation letter. That question often comes, who can recommend me? Your mentor can, your professor can, your lecturer in school, your pastor, your imam, an employer, someone you have worked with before, right? Those are people who you can get recommendation letters from. Once again, um, I want to encourage you. It's not so connected to what I'm saying, but it's very useful that you build relationships with certain persons, right? Because these persons can provide counsel, they can grant you access to opportunities, but they can also recommend you, right? Because sometimes some persons are meeting people to say, oh, can you please write a recommendation letter for me? And the person is looking at you and is like, I don't even know you. Do you understand? So it's an entirely different um what's the word situation where you are reaching out to somebody who does not know you. Do you understand me? And then for many scholarships, also you need your NIN, your national identification number. One advice I want to give to you is that please label everything clearly. Label everything clearly, so that you don't submit the wrong documents. Okay. Label with your name and what that document is. Also, you can use PDF and ensure that the file sizes are small. You don't want to be having 1 point something MB, 4 point something MB, 10 point something MB. Many scholarships will tell you that, oh, the maximum file size can be maybe 100 MB. Did I say 100 MB? No. Most of them can say 1 MB or 500 KB or something. Do you understand that? So ensure that your file sizes are small. These are just simple tips I'm giving, but I'm trying to be as practical as possible. Okay? I'm trying to be as practical as possible. Moving on quickly. So this is a roadmap. It's more like an assignment, things I want you to do, right? I want to believe you are with your notes. So two things I'm asking you to do. One, invite others to the call. Send someone this Meet link. And two, take notes, right? I'll give you the opportunity to ask me questions once I'm done with this presentation, right? Because I really want each and every one of us on this call to be beneficiaries of those scholarships, okay? So what are the things I want you to do today? One, create a Scholastica account. Scholastica is one of the platforms where you get to upload all of these. There's a section where I'm going to speak a bit more on it, but you upload all of the documents I called before, right? And you can apply for as many as 10 scholarships just on Scholastica. The only thing is that you can only get one from Scholastica. So are you seeing how it adds up? You get one from Scholastica out of the many you apply from there. But then there are many other scholarships, which is the next one, that have their scheme specific platforms, such as PTDF, such as Bridge, such as FSB, such as, you understand, for those ones, they have their own portal for application, and which is why whenever the applications are ongoing, we send the information on the scholarship group. If you're not on the group, do reach out at the end of this call and you'll be added, right? And you also want to ensure you're applying for as many as you see, as many as you're eligible for, because the more you apply for, the more you have a better chance of, or the greater your chance of stacking multiple awards. Do you understand? Very important also, have a dedicated email, a professional email, not all those sweet baby at yahoo.com. Are you a 419? No, you should have a professional email like calebcookigam@gmail.com. caleb.cookigam@eng.uniben.edu. You see all these things I'm calling, cookiecaleb@gmail.com. The three of them I called, all of them are my email addresses, right? Have a professional email and also check it regularly for updates, okay? Now, when I also say apply early, I'm not saying you should just push anything and apply anyhow. No, you should be intentional with your application. You should ensure that you are timely when the scholarship application opens up, that you apply before the deadline. But it does not mean that you should just apply without proper what's the word, preparation. Do you understand that? So on assessments, exams and interview, there are some scholarships that will invite you for exams and interview, but there are some others that once you've applied, they would just they'll just shortlist and awarded to some persons, especially those ones that would have asked you for maybe your statement of purpose, or that are based on indigence, or that are based on, do you understand that? But then for some other scholarships like separate, I know I'm giving specific examples, you will have to write an exam. Now, the good thing is many of the exams are online, so you can write them from wherever you are. You just need a good phone or a good laptop. Of course, they will specify if they want you to if they can allow you to write with your phone, but most of them will say, oh, get a good laptop. And don't say, oh, I don't have. You're in the university. There'll definitely be a friend, a classmate, a church member who has a good laptop that you can use. See, one thing that I expect everybody to be intentional with, to be intentional about, is relationships. When I was in school also, I usually had this thing where I borrow laptops because I had a lot of persons who could trust me with it and provide access to a number of persons to write scholarship exams at once, which is part of why I had many persons who I know that are on scholarships, right? So most scholarship exams are online and you just need a laptop and stable internet connection. But then there are very few of them that you have to travel. For example, FSB. FSB will tell you that, oh, it's either you write in Lagos or in Abuja or in Port Harcourt or in Kano. They'll specify the states where you can write and you choose, right? I think you can also write in Delta. But Monday Onyeme, yes, you have to travel to Delta State. So there are just very few of them that you have to travel. One thing that can definitely help is also you should practice past questions. There are specific past questions for some scholarships, right? But then generally, they are what we call Dragnet style questions. These are GMAT style questions that help you to test for numerical analysis and your quantitative reasoning and just general knowledge. You can just practice them ahead of time to just be conversant with them, not just because of scholarships, but because I'm currently working, like I told you, and even this my current job. One of the stages of interview, we had to take GMAT. We had to take a GMAT style exam. Do you understand that, right? So it helps to just be conversant with this type of questions, right? Also, speaking to past beneficiaries can be a huge help. They can tell you what to expect. They can tell you how to prepare for the actual interview and all of that. And one platform that can help you know past beneficiaries of a scholarship is LinkedIn. I recommend LinkedIn very often because it's one platform that has given me access to a lot of opportunities and very valuable connections, right? So talk to past beneficiaries from your school or from, LinkedIn and all of that. Now, I will tell you that the applications are demanding. The application process, you have to upload documents, you have to go to meet your HOD or this and that, but it's worth it. Imagine you just go through the stress and then you're being paid 200K every session that you're in school, or you're being paid $1 million every session you're in school. So it's worth it, right? And the exams themselves are usually easy. I can tell you that, right? Because they know that applicants are from different departments. So they just try to keep it. They won't ask you calculus, for example, because they know that not everybody there is doing engineering. Are we still together? Please indicate with your emoji so that I'll know that you are with me. Are you with me? Okay, thank you. So moving on quickly, I want to look at 7 traps, 7 pitfalls, 7 mistakes that sometimes people make that you would want to avoid. 7 traps. One of which is some persons have what I call a low self-doubting mindset. See, in life, expect good things. In life, believe that you are going to be the beneficiary of good things. It has always been my attitude. I always expect that I'm going to be blessed, that people are going to favor me. It has always been my expectation. And when you expect good things come to you, right? When you believe good things, you experience good things. So don't be that person who has a low mindset, who you talk down on yourself and you think down on yourself and you doubt yourself. If you do, please, we should even have a conversation after now, right? You should affirm positive things about yourself. So one trap that blocks scholarship success is some persons have a low mindset, right? Some persons have a doubting, limiting mindset. So for some others also is that they simply don't apply. And if you don't apply, then how will you get it? They will not come and look for you in your hostel or in your classroom and say, oh, right, that you deserve the scholarship. But also, there are some scholarships that if you are the best in your department, they will come and find you. Let me tell you, you are the best in the university, you are the best in a course, they will come and find you, because there are some scholarships that are constant for maybe the best female students in 100 level chemical engineering. The best, do you understand that? Ahead. So I'm just simply saying that on the other hand, there's how you will be excellent. People will come and find you. Let me balance it. There are things that you apply for, there are things that you position yourself for. Do you understand what I'm saying? These simple things I'm saying are beyond scholarships. It can impact your life positively in all ramifications. Okay. The next thing also why is a trap why people don't sometimes enjoy scholarships is wrong associations, where their circle are not seeking opportunities, or their circle are discouraging, or their circle are not intentional about academic excellence. See, the people you work with influence a lot about your life. I have a video I did on YouTube where I spoke about 7 types of friends to have and either 5 or 7 types of people to avoid in the university. And I think you should watch that. Right? One thing I'm most grateful for when I look back, it's been 2 years. Is it 2 years? I graduated January 2026. No, this 2026. I graduated January 2025. Right? So one of the things I'm most grateful for are the friendships. Even this evening, I had a call with one of my friends. No, even today, I've had 2 calls with 2 of my classmates from university. So we are very much in touch. Both of them did first class. Both of them enjoyed scholarships. And this is well over a year, 5 months later, we're still in touch, right? And for some of them, we'll be in touch for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years, because we're still building things together. So you need the right association. Proverbs 13:20, walk with the wise, you become wise. But if you're a companion of fools, you will be destroyed. I'm not the one saying it. It's what the Bible says. Are we together? Good. The next thing also is laziness. Some persons are just lazy. They're like, it's too stressful. They are not diligent. They don't follow through on scholarships, right? And sometimes that's the big difference. Some persons also don't get scholarships because they miss deadlines. They don't pay attention to the deadline. Every scholarship, one of the things you want to look at is, when should I apply before this? There are some scholarships that are applied a day or two to the deadline, right? But I don't advise waiting till the deadline, because on that deadline, that last day, there might be a lot of persons who are applying, and you know how these things can be. The portal can be misbehaving and all of that. The 6th reason why some persons don't get scholarships is because of poor documentation. Maybe they submit incomplete files, or maybe they mislabeled the files, or maybe they don't have a strong what's the word? The required documents, the required documentations for that application. You must learn how to be detailed, right? How to pay attention to details. And the 7th reason that is also a trap is that some persons fall for scams. They see some guaranteed awards, they see some things that they ask them to pay. And instead of seeking verified opportunities, which is why I work with Victory, who is on the call. Of course, I celebrate you, bro, to ensure that we are sharing only verified opportunities. I would also give you some platforms that you can follow, right, to also get verified opportunities in addition to being on our group. And so, yeah, in 2026, right, these are just a few examples of scholarships, a few examples just for 2026. PTDF focuses on 200 level and 300 level, right? You apply on the platform. There's MTN, right, that gives 200,000. It's mostly for those in science and technology, and it's for 300 level. NNPC, SNEPCO, NLNG, Gimovia, Julius Berger. Julius Berger is for females. There are a lot of opportunities that are just for females. See, if you're a female, you don't sometimes know the advantages you have, right? And you want to make the most of it. You want to apply for those tech scholarships and those academic scholarships, and you don't maximize the opportunities. I have a few female friends, and I tell them just excel. The world is your oyster. I don't know if you understand what I mean, right? I'm just simply saying that it's a female world, and you should enjoy it, right? And guys, don't also be jealous. Don't be. Okay, so moving on quickly, just a few more slides, and I'll be done to answer questions. I've spoken about Scholastica. It's a single platform where a lot of scholarship applications are done. You just need to set up one profile. You put in your phone number, your email, you upload your documents. That's the platforms, candidates.scholastica.ng, right? And then, of course, you can apply for a lot of scholarships, but then you shouldn't just apply carelessly. And you should also understand that there are other scholarships that you can get that are not on Scholastica, because in the end, you will end up getting only one scholarship from Scholastica at a time. So that's a support line, and that is an email address for Scholastica. Now, some scholarship scams, I just thought to mention it, especially because recently I saw this opportunity in quotes that was looking too suspicious. I did a post on that on the group, so I believe you know the one I'm referring to. I don't want to call them out now. Any scholarship that is requesting for payments, no, please, legitimate scholarships don't ask you to pay for apply or for them to release funds or for them to sell you their past questions. Legitimate scholarships don't. Any scholarship that's also very, they're pressuring you. They want you to act now or to send this money or to send them an OTP or whatever. Just know that it's a scam. Okay? Any scholarship that also has a suspicious domain. Some of them, even as you are clicking on a link, your browser will be warning you that this site is suspicious. Also know that that's most likely a scam. Scholarships that also ask you for, when I say your bank details, of course, for scholarships to give you the money, they would ask for your account name, your account number, and maybe, just maybe, your sort code. But then scholarship that is asking for your PIN, that's asking for your bank login, that's asking for your password to process it, just know that it's suspicious. Do you understand that? Scholarships are to give you money, not to take it from you. That's one thing I want you to remember. Okay? And we're almost at the end of this. The next thing I also want to emphasize in today's webinar is retention and renewal conditions. There are scholarships that after you've won, you also have to renew them on a sessional basis, on a regular basis. And a few things that are required for that is that your GPA should be excellent, right? You want to maintain a good GPA. See, I tell you the truth. As much as people say, oh, school is this, school is that, I know a lot of persons who are building excellent lives by virtue of their academic excellence. So do your best to excel academically. Are we together? Well, one of my friends, he just got his jobs. Starting pay is well over $1 million. Now, think about that. So when people are saying some things, they don't also know that there are some real opportunities that are still there. Not everybody gets 20K for their salary. Are we together? Okay. Excel academically, maintain your GPA. Okay. Also, if you have issues in school that maybe leads to withdrawal, dismissal, maybe you're involved in crime, there are many scholarships that can also make you forfeit those scholarships. So you want to ensure that you also maintain your moral standing, your academics is important, but also your character is important. Do you understand that? You do not want to be dismissed, maybe because of exam malpractice or something else. Do you understand that? And you have to stay qualified. So 2 more slides and we're done. So these are some portals I want you to follow up on. I've already mentioned Scholastica, candidates.scholastica.ng. Apply on it today, right? I've mentioned PTDF scholarship. I've mentioned also the FSB scholarship. The platform is scholarship.education.gov.ng, right? And one platform that gives a lot of opportunities, even many of the opportunities we share on that platform comes from this platform, right? Is the scholarship region, Intel region. Okay? Intel region, scholarship region, they're both owned by the same set of persons. So there are a lot of opportunities that are shared there. There is also opportunities for Africans and many other platforms like that. So there's also our WhatsApp community, the channel, and the WhatsApp group. The benefit of the channel is that we just post opportunities there, but the group is so that we can give life updates, we can support ourselves, you can have conversations with yourself, which is why the group is open. But of course, if you make noise or do other things that are not relevant, you can be removed from the group. So thank you for your time. I want to encourage you that too, you don't have to struggle through school. My 100 level, 200 level was demanding. I was working multiple jobs. I was having to do a lot of things, right? But by 300 level, 400 level, when those scholarships came in, I had a better time. And I was also a blessing to a lot of persons. I can say that with all humility and sincerity. right? So you don't have to struggle through school. Um, don't disqualify yourself from opportunities. Apply widely, right? Apply early and be intentional about your academic journey, right? Now, I'm also going to upload this video to YouTube, which is why it's being recorded. You can watch the replay, you can like and subscribe. The name of the channel is Conversations with Caleb Cookigam, right? You can drop a comment, you can share with a friend. You know how I said you should share this meeting? Some of us didn't. See, just believe in life that there are a lot of opportunities, and the fact that you share with others does not mean that you won't get it. Are we together? Be that person who wants others to succeed. That is my attitude in life, right? So, thank you for your attention, and I trust you've also learned something from this presentation this evening. My name is Caleb Cookigam, and it's been nice doing this. So, I would give you the opportunity to ask questions now. You can raise up your hand if you have a question. Just use the raise hand feature. You can also type in the type in the chat box. I'll read through and answer questions. So I'll be looking at the chat box. So Nancy is asking, if you get nominated for a scholarship, does it guarantee you receiving the scholarship? Not necessarily. There are some persons who get nominated for a scholarship, but then you might get disqualified at the point of documentation if they find that maybe they submitted false documents or incomplete documents. Some persons also might not follow through on, you understand? But then once you are shortlisted for scholarship, you're already ahead of a lot of other persons. Do you understand that? Once you are also once you are nominated, right, you have a good chance. You have a good chance. Do you understand that? So, but it's not like it's a guarantee. So yes, next question. Yes, you have a chance to ask me a question in real time, so please maximize it. Okay, yes, someone is raising his hand. I think that's Progress. Yes, Progress, please unmute yourself and ask your question. I can't hear you, Progress. Are you asking your question? Yeah, I know it's been very insightful, and I also try to break it down as much as possible. But once again, does anybody have a question? Okay, okay. Let me look at the chat box so that if we have questions there, I can respond to that. Okay, Grace is saying I applied for some scholarships, but they don't communicate back. So there are some scholarships that tell you that, oh yes, they have received the application, but there are some others that they don't have that good feedback loop, right? Um, um, so that's something that I think many scholarships can actually do better with, to tell you that, oh, this is why we either didn't accept the application or not, right? But as touching that, I want to say, don't get discouraged. Keep applying for more opportunities. Keep putting yourself up for opportunities. Okay, and also ensure that you met the requirements. Do you understand that? Ensure that your email is reachable. Ensure your phone number is reachable, and all of that. Right. The next question from Zion: can a 500 level student still get scholarships? Yes. There are scholarships that are focused on final year students, maybe to help with your project or with other expenses you have to do in final year. But by the time you're in final year, you should also start looking at opportunities beyond your time in school. When I say your time in school, I'm talking about opportunities such as, how do I describe it now? Such as if you intend to go for graduate school, if you want to get a graduate internship, if you want to. I did a video also on my YouTube channel, Conversations with Caleb Cookigam. I titled it "What's Next." I just shared common pathways that you can take. Once I was done with school, I didn't really wait too long. I had my first job role, and I'm currently on my second job role, which is better. And it's also here that I am serving. I'm also serving where I am now. So I believe that it's of course we thank God for God's grace and favor. Please let's emphasize that enough, right? But I'm just simply saying that there are opportunities beyond school also. You want to start researching and positioning yourself for them also. Okay. Next question. What are the this is a question from Deborah. What are the most common reasons applicants are rejected even when they meet all the requirements? The thing is, there are some scholarships that are very competitive, very, very competitive. So sometimes you might meet all the requirements, but then they just maybe went with somebody that they felt had better credentials. I'm not saying the person is better, please don't mishear me. I'm just simply saying sometimes better credential. Or some other times also it might be that if it's a, for example, FSB would want to have beneficiaries from all the states. So there are sometimes when they'll pick somebody from another state that just might not have as good credentials as you, but they just want to have, they want the spread. They want it to be from different states or from different institutions. You know, there's all of those concerns. But like I said, keep trusting, keep applying, and I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Dominion has a question. Sir, I have a question. When I apply for scholarships, I always get rejected. This is the third one that I've been rejected. Please, sir, what's my mistake? Now, Dominion, we can have a one-on-one conversation, but one of the things I want to encourage you to do is that statement that I always get rejected is wrong, is false, right? Delete it from your vocabulary. Expect that you will get accepted. Do you understand that? Don't what's the word? It's all part of the story. It's all part of the story. For many persons, many of us in life, in terms of scholarship, in terms of jobs, in terms of opportunities, in terms of a lot of things, oftentimes you apply for more than you get. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if this is your third time, keep going, apply again and again, right? Now ensure that all other things are in place. The things I have said, such as your results, such as your documents. If you are doing everything right, then don't give up. Still apply, keep the hope. Do you understand? If this is the thought, then it's just still few. I'm very sure I applied for over 15 scholarships. Did you hear me? Yes, over 15. I'm very sure, right? And I know people who applied for much more, right? I know somebody who applied, he was telling me, according to him, right? He's one of my bosses. He said he applied for as much as 50 scholarships. He ended up getting 7 or 8, but that's like 1 out of 7. It means for every 8 he applied, he got 1. Do you understand? So that's my response to that. Moving on to the next question. The next question is from Zane. Most of the scholarships I've seen and applied for long after the long process of applying, I will now discover that most of it is not for 100 level. So, sir, is it just better to concentrate on studies now and start applying for in 200 level and above? Now, I also said that in this webinar that the best time for scholarships is 200 level because by then you have a last session's GP. However, applying in 100 level is a good thing if it's not distracting you from studies because you are getting used to the application process, right? You might actually get some that might invite you for the interview and you might actually get one, right? Like I said, there's one of the scholarships that I applied for just when I was leaving 100 level. But by the time it came, I was almost done with 200 level. In fact, the first scholarship money I ate, I was only in 300 level. But it was in 100 level and 200 level that I did almost all my applications. I applied for only 2 scholarships in 300 level. Do you understand that? So I'm just simply saying that definitely you want to have an excellent result. Do your 4.5, your 5.0, have an excellent result in your 100 level, right? But don't get discouraged by saying, oh, it's mostly for 200 level and above, because you will get there. You are joining this call at a very good time because you're just 100 level and getting this useful information, right? So I'm rooting for you, and of course, feel free to also reach out to me on WhatsApp, and I'll see how I can provide you with one-on-one guidance. So, Deborah, as a final year Nigerian student, what should I be doing right now to maximize my chances of receiving a fully funded scholarship? That's a full conversation. On 11th, is it 11th or 12th now? But next weekend, I'm having somebody joining us from, he's currently in Spain, right? And then somebody else from Germany. And I've not gotten the confirmation from this third person, but I also reached out to one of my contacts in the US, right? Because I know I have friends across, just different countries. Most of them travel there based on postgraduate scholarships. Postgraduate scholarships. So I'm having them joining that's next weekend, right? To share on postgraduate scholarships and how to apply, and if you should, of course, all of those things are key. I can share things generally, like you should get a such experience, see if you can publish one or two papers. You should begin from your project, see if you can publish it. You should ensure that you work experience counts for some scholarships. There are some others that also expect you to get some professional memberships. Yeah, a number of those things, but many of those things I'm saying would be theoretical based on my research, based on what I have read and heard. But why I'm bringing these persons is because these are people who have been beneficiaries. They've gone through the entire process and they can definitely share with us. So you can send me a message so that I would send you the um, link for you to RSVP for that, and also get to join us for that webinar. It's also going to be a webinar on Google Meet. And like I said, two persons have confirmed they'll be joining us, and I'm expecting one more person. Right? One of the easiest ways to travel out of the country is on postgraduate scholarships, and it's something you can also have in mind ahead of time. What if you are asked to write an essay? Oh, okay, that's a question from Zion and from Dominion, that please emphasize on essay write-ups. Now, there's scholarships that also require you to write essays, right? They can give you a topic, right? There are some scholarships that the essay might just be about yourself, about your life aspiration and all of that. One of the things I'll tell you to do is write. Get your pen and paper or get your notes app and type a lot of things that apply to that topic, or that apply to whatever it is they're asking. I know I started this way because a lot of persons just jump to generative AI, ChatGPT, Cloud, whatever, and then whatever they get from there does not have their voice, does not have the experience, does not sound human, right? So first of all, write a lot, right? I think the time frame is so many of these. Today, write some things. Next day, write some things. When a quote comes to mind, include it. When an experience comes to mind, include it. Why I'm saying this is because you can then now take all of that, right, and use Gen AI for research, use Gen AI for the structuring, use Gen AI for certain phrasing, and maybe apply Grammarly to remove some of the errors and all of that, right? You can also send the essay to one or two persons for review. I've had a couple of persons who sent me essays, and I give feedback on that. It does not mean that you have to take it, right? But it simply means that you can also get one or two what's the word, feedback on the essay writing, right? But one thing I want to encourage you is that don't get discouraged if you are thinking that essay writing is not your fault, is not your thing. There are also scholarships that might be more aligned to your area of strength. Do you understand that point, right? Because I know one guy. Should I call his name? Okay, I know one guy. He graduated from Glory. That guy he won maybe 10 essays competitions. It was just like his friend. Maybe if I also speak to him and he's it'll be there for us. Right. Like I said, I have some very, very wonderful persons in my network. See, I did a video on the balance of relationships, and that's one thing I'm very intentional about relationships, right? It's so key. Okay. So I think I've responded to all of the questions in the chat box, right? If there's any other question, I will take that. If not, we'll bring this webinar to a close. But I trust it has been insightful, and because I'm rooting for you, I'm praying for each and every one of you that you're successful, that you get that you go for these opportunities and that you get them, right? That the Lord grants you favor. That's my heart's desire and my prayer for you. And of course, in any way I can be of support, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I may not always be online, but there's Victory. You can send him your questions, and where necessary, he will also reach out to me. My number is on the group, my Caleb Cookie Gab. You can easily connect with me on LinkedIn and send a message. Like I said, for those persons who didn't join in live or who joined in late, who have this replay on YouTube so that you can watch, and you can also ask questions in the comment section. I also do look through and respond. Adeyemi, are you raising up your hand? Do you have a question?
No, sir. No,
Deborah is
sir.
asking if I'm in second class upper. Um, Now I'm going to be straight with you. In the end, I graduated with a second class upper. So don't think that it's what's the word, that it's such a big disadvantage or something. Of course, go for your first class, right? But I know that I enjoyed more scholarships than even many persons who had first class, right? Um, but a few things that will also make it stand out. One is if you have leadership experience or volunteering experience, right? Because you can include that in your statement of purpose or include that in your um, CV or include that in some other things to also point out that you are a person of value. They are what we call signals of excellence. Do you understand? And academic excellence is just one aspect of that, right? So if you so things like those memberships, right? Things like those volunteering experiences, things like those leadership experience, things like if you have worked on a project, maybe you had an outreach or you had a certain project or you've published a paper, you are then instruments and that's something you should consider. My second paper I published it with one of my lecturers. So you can even look for one of your lecturers in school, have that conversation with them and see how you can be a co-author, right? How you can contribute to research or contribute in some of the aspects, right? And and I'm just simply saying this, put your best foot forward. Always seek how you can get a have that edge, right? Have that edge. Life is competitive, and I'm not saying you're competing with others, competing with people. I'm still saying you're competing with yourself. You want to be better. You want to ensure you are always doing your best, right? So that's what I'll say on that. You don't feel discouraged that you don't have the highest GP. As much as I've also said that clearly that you want to have excellent results. Okay, so I'm not seeing any other question in the comments or in the. I'm not seeing any hand raised. So I want to believe that this has been insightful. And once again, thank you for showing up, and thank you for listening. And I trust you've learned one or two. And God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Victory. Yes, do you want to unmute and say something? Victor is my co-admin on the group, and he has also been very helpful when it comes to administering the community. Okay. So I think he doesn't want to. So once again, thank you everyone, and God bless you. Shalom.
I know.